day, everyone. This time I will be discussing two modules, the last two modules, which is module 10 and module 11. So first we will discuss module 10, which is self-reported matrix. Okay, okay. So this module usually we will discuss how the data collected, directly from individuals based on what they say, they feel, remember, they perceive, rather than what measured by instrument or observed by others. Okay. So here are our objectives. First, we have to collect self-reported data using the rating scale or an open-ended questions. Second, identify methods in collecting data. Third, analyze the self-report metrics. Okay, so when we say self-report matrix, this is usually um, the individual reports information about themselves through the tools like, for example, surveys, questionnaires, interviews, feedback forms, and rating scales. So, mismo ikaw ang magsasabi ng data tungkol sa sarili mo, no? Yan. So what are those commons na mga self-reported matrix, like for example mga health and wellnesses or wellness, meaning you have to measure or a pain level, like for example yung pain scale is 1 to 10, for example, stress or anxiety level, quality of sleep, or a diet or exercise benefits, no? So the doctors often ask a question like, how are you feeling today? Okay, so that is a self-reported data. Okay, another thing, sa education naman tayo. So dito, uh, the data will be collected are the student satisfaction with the course, mga self-assisted learning or a level of confidence, the course evaluation, mga study habits. Dito, uh, like for example dito, I feel confident about the topic, meaning strongly agree. Parang sentiment analysis lang po siya. Okay? So, in terms of education. In terms naman sa business or workplace, this is measure how the employee engage surveys, mga job satisfaction scores, customer satisfaction ratings, mga net promoter score. So, example, how likely are you to recommend this service? Okay, yun yung mga examples. In terms naman sa technology and AI systems, so the user feedbacks on the applications or platforms, perceive usefully or the usability or usefulness, the ethical concerns or trust level. So these are the self-reported matrix collected. Okay, so common methods are mga Likert scales, meaning strongly agree or strongly disagree. There are mga scales, numeric scales, for example 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, or there are questions answering yes or no, or there are questions answering open-minded responses. Okay, so these methods provides different kinds of insights. For example, when we say quantitative, meaning referring to a numbers, no, and qualitative, uh, tawag dito, insights or opinions. Ito yung mga explanations, opinions, no? So that is qualitative. Again, quantitative is numbers. Qualitative is opinions or in explanations. Okay. So now, um, we have here a questions. What does the best way is to us mean? No. So this statement, when we want to understand people thoughts, feelings, and experiments or perceptions, the most effective method is to ask them directly. No. So there are many situations, especially those involving subjective experience. There is no machine, there is no sensor or something, no, or a system that can accurately measure what person feels or thinks, no. The only reliable source is the person themselves, no, is the person themselves. Yun lang yung pinaka reliable data that we can use, no. Okay. So this type of question, this is the connection of to self-reported matrix. When we say self-reported matrix, is the self-reported matrix rely on direct questions, mga personal responses, and individual reflections, no? So that is why asking becomes essential. Okay? For example, you cannot measure stress with a ruler, di ba? Just you can ask how stress sometimes feels or someone feels. Tatanungin mo talaga yan. Okay? And you cannot also observe satisfaction. Makakagather ka ba sa satisfaction? No. But you have to ask question or ask a feedback. No? Another thing, you cannot calculate confidence objectively. But you have to ask the learners to rate it. Okay? So, why asking works best? By the way, guys. Bakit kailangan ito? Bakit ito yung nagwo-work ng pinaka-best of the experiments that we have or matrix or tawag dito the collected data. Bakit asking works best? Because sometimes people are the experts of their own experience, of course, di ba? Only the individual knows their pain level, their motivation, their satisfactions, and their beliefs, di ba? So asking respects lived experience. Second, some the data cannot be observed. Like for example, you cannot observe emotions, you cannot observe attitudes, and you cannot observe opinions. These are invisibles. Okay? So sensors measure steps, not motivation. Mga log records usage, not frustration. So only the option is to ask directly. Okay? Another thing, and asking question improve decision making. Like for example, in education, in a business, healthcare, tourism, and mga AI system, asking the users helps to improve services, asking the students improve teaching strategies, and asking employees improves workplace culture. So these are the uh, things, no, that can help, and asking question can help also the results can improve also decision making. Okay, so there are a lot of examples across fields in asking questions, no. Like for example, sa education, how confident you are in the topic. Sa healthcare naman, how do you rate your pain today? Sa tourism and hospitality, how satisfied with where you are when you're in the stay, no? Yan. So, yan. So, yung goal dito is to understand people. The best method is to ask them. Okay? Yan. Next is asking people what is the best way to gather subjective data. The real difficulty lies on choosing the right question. Okay? So, not all the questions give useful, accurate, and meaningful data. If the question is unclear or poorly designed, so the answer also, no matter how honest, no, or it can be misleading or mga unusable, no. So the issue is not asking itself, but what and how we ask. Okay? So magdepende po kung ano yung tinatanong po natin, kung anong problem na i-ask natin. Okay? So sometimes when we ask to a problem, sometimes vague questions, no, meaning vague answers, vague questions can also give us a vague answers. Like for example, are you okay? So that's a vague question. Did you understand the lesson? What kind of lesson? So these are the vague questions. And also it gives us a vague answers. So how to address this type of questions? So the better question is, or the better version of the question, like for example, which part of the lesson was the hardest for you to understand? So this is very clear, no? So meron tayong goal dyan. We can create a certain goal. Another thing, some of the questions are biased or leading questions agad. So parang you are directly answering what do you need, no? Parang diretso agad sa punto, no? Sometimes some question pose respondents toward a certain answer. For example, do you think this lesson was helpful? So hindi po siya ganyan, no? It's a bias. So the better version for that, for example, how helpful was the lesson? So in terms of how, so we can rate a certain scale, right? Like for example, um, uh, I understand, a very understand. Like for example, 0 to 5, what level of what scale your um, perception or understanding in the lesson. Yeah, you have to uh, specific. What you have to what I mean is um, you have to choose the question, no, or do not ask question to push the respondents toward a certain answer. Okay. Okay. Next is sometimes you are asking a question with the wrong metric. Okay. Sometimes we ask about the wrong thing. Okay. For example, ask about the number of study hours when the real concern is learning quality. So you have to the better focus is to change the for example, how confident are you in applying what you have learned? So um, so ito yung better questions or better focus on a certain metric. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes the questions are too complex or technical. Kung ang questions are hard to understand, of course, the responses become unreliable, no? Unreliable, especially for the students or general respondents. So, you have to use mga simple language lang, kailangan may clear options, and also one idea per questions para makuha mo po yung objective, no, dito. So, what makes a good self-reported questions? Yan. So, a good questions are kailangan clear and specific, neutral, not leading, neutral lang siya. And you have to, the question must relevant to your objective or your goal of your study, and easy to understand, appropriate for the audience. Okay? Ayan. So, when we say self-reported data, okay? So, ang self-reported data, it's the information, no, that comes directly from the users themselves based on their personal perception, feelings, and experience when they are using the system. Okay? So instead of measuring behavior through the tools or logs, we ask the user to tell us what they really think or feel. Okay? Ayan. So, the important informations about the user's perception of the system and their interaction with it, meaning ito yung mga self-reported data that tells us how the user see the system, and also it tells us it captures also their experience when they are interacting with the system, and also it reveals some mga issues, for example they may not be visible through the technical data, like for example yan, so a system may work correctly but the users may find it confusing and hard to use. So these are things, no, na we discussed before, mga previous modules, no, that we have discussed, um, yung mga how uh, how to check if how to measure if your usability of the system, or uh, merong maganda yung system pero it's confusing naman and hard to use. Yun yung mga example natin before in our previous modules. Okay? The next question is how user feels about the system. So this question focus on the emotional and attitude side naman, no? In interacting with the system. So dito, i-measure niya satisfaction, frustration, trust, confidence, enjoyment. Example question of this is how satisfied are you with the system? Did you feel confident using the features? What frustrated you and most while using it? No? So these are um, example questions that fit uh, the to measure, no, the emotional and attitude of interacting the systems. Okay, so why we need self-reported data, no? Why we need it? Because some things cannot be measured automatically, like feelings, opinions. So as I have said lately, hindi siya basta-basta ma-measured itong mga feelings, opinions, confidence, and satisfaction. But you have to simply ask the user. Okay? So systems may be efficient technically, but it failed from the user's perspective. Okay? Ayan. Okay. In collecting self-reported data, um, ito yung i-collect natin from the users, no, that we have. Kailan nakagather ito sa users, from the users. So it presents here two main methods commonly used ito sa pag-collect ng information about mga experience, opinions, and feelings. Number one is rating scale. Sa rating scale, meron tayong ginagamit na Likert and semantic. Ano nga po ito, guys? When we say rating scales, it allows the user to quantify the opinions or feelings by choosing from a set of predefined options. Like for example, Likert scale. A Likert scale is to ask the respondents to indicate their level of agreement or intensity. So the typical format of the answers like strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. So for example, the system is easy to use. So for example, if you are so kind of have to check, you know, is it strongly agree or going to strongly disagree. So the best option or the best use them is measuring the satisfaction, measuring the confidence, measuring the agreement, or measuring the attitude, no? And comparing these responses also across many users. So titingnan natin kung these types of uh, results, like for example, ikukumpara natin kung uh, kailangan meron din variety of users, like for example, users from education sector, users from the government sectors, users from the business sectors, no? So, again guys, you have to analyze the trends numerically. So, um, when we say semantic differential scale, this is a method of asking respondents to choose a person between two opposite adjectives like easy to difficult, useful to useless, clear or confusing. Okay? So, in measuring perceptions or emotional response and evaluating the design's usability and the user experience or the user experience. So, why rating scales also useful? Of course, easy to answer siya, easy to analyze, and it can also produce mga quantitative data. Okay? So, from there, we are allowed to compare over time between some groups. Okay? So, sa analysis na po yun. Okay? The second methods of collecting self-responding or reporting data is mga open-ended questions. So, ano po nga po yung open-ended questions? Let the user respond freely by using their own words without mga predefined choices. Okay, so wala tayong skills, no? So, ito yung uh, kung ano lang yung sasagutin, yun yung i-analyze mo, no? For example, what did you like the most about the system? So, ano, narrative yung minsan yung answer nila, sentence yung answer nila. So, ito yung tinatawag nating qualitative data. Okay? Qualitative data. So, qualitative data, uh, anong uh, self-reported data na ginagamit natin? Ito yung mga open-ended questions, no? So, these two na methods work together. The best practice dito is to combine both methods, rating scales, and open-ended questions. So, minsan, ito na yung tinatawag nating mixed methods. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Example ng Likert scale. Ayan. So, we have here, meron tayong Likert scale, no? Present a statement. So, may statement tayo, corresponds with ano po ito? Yung answer, no? Or response ng user. So, this statement which responds to the level of agreement instead of answering yes or no, no? So, the user express how strongly or they agree or strongly disagree. Okay? Ayan. Dito naman. Ito naman ay semantic differential scale. Yan. So, ito yung mga another self-reported data in which it is just what questions you ask. So, the timing affects how accurate and useful the feedback will be. Okay? So, ayan guys, what does this capture? Mga intermediate user experience, perceived difficulty, or assist. Yan. So, from weak to strong. So, yung level, no? Beautiful to ugly. Ito yung opposite na scaling. Okay? So, when to collect our data. So, it's important, the important limitation of the self-reported matrix bias, specifically how people answers, no, may not always reflect the true thoughts or experiences. So the tendency, when the feedback is collected face to face or verbally, the respondents may give answers that more positive than they actually feel. Di ba? Minsan, dahil sa nahihiya yung pag-respond, so minsan kahit hindi naman siya satisfied, nagsasabi siya ng lie, no? I am satisfied with the system, I like the system. Hindi siya sumasagot kung what they really feel or truly feel with the system. Yan. So, kailangan meron siyang at the end, we ask the post-task ratings and post-study ratings. Yan. Okay, so how to collect the data? These are the methods. Okay. So, the oral, written, and online. So, pwede yung so these are the pros and cons. So, sa oral, easy questions or easy method for quickly ratings. But, ang cons naman, observer has to take notes, no? Kailangan talaga magti-take notes dito sa oral. Sa written naman, good for a quick ratings and longer surveys, but it need to be manually entered. So, kailangan mo na naman itong i-manual entered yung response, no? Sa online, goods for a quick ratings and longer surveys, pero kailangan mo ng computer to access. Okay? Okay. So, guidelines for rating scales. So, guidelines na tayo for a while, guys. So, ask the same questions in different ways. Use positive and negative statement. So, yung scale dapat 5 to 7 points lang. Okay. So, analyzing self-report. So, uses. So, you have to assign a numeric value. For example, magko-compute ka ng mga average. Another thing is to focus on top 2 and the top bottom response. And then you have to summarize responses from the open-ended questions. You have to group mga different themes. Okay? So, types of rating scales. So, ayan. Mag-analyze na tayo sa self-report. When we say analyzing self-report, dito naman yung how to analyze mga reported data. So, once the responses has already been collected, since the self-reports often include both numbers ratings or mga text my art open-ended questions or open-ended answers. So, meron tayong different analysis na approach na kinakailangan. So, una, you have to assign a numeric value to compute for average. Like, for example, yung rating scales. Sa rating scales, from 1 to 5, so, ang 1 is strongly agree, and 5 is strongly, 1 is strongly disagree, and 5 is strongly agree. Okay? So, once the values are assigned, we have to compute the mean, which is the average, and compare now across the questions, tasks, or groups. So, para ma-identify natin dito yung overall satisfaction or trends ng mga users' perceptions. And second, we have to focus on two and top two bottom responses, no? So, instead of analyzing single options, you have to focus on mga extreme responses. So, how to get the top two, no? Top two agree and strongly agree. Top two for strongly disagree and disagree. So, why we do this? Para ma-highlights natin yung mga strong positive reactions, and we can also see and reveals the mga serious problems and mga dissatisfaction, no? So, this makes the results easier to interpret the decisions. Okay. So, for example, if many use or choose mga strongly agree, so that items needs intermediate attention, no? Ayan. The third one in analyzing a self-report is summarizing responses from open-ended questions. So, an open-ended questions are text-based, of course, so they cannot be averaged, and instead they must be summarized. So, ito yung mga sentiment analysis na sinasabi natin, no? So, we have to group into themes. Ano yung mga tema? So, you have to group it, no? So, of course, ang ibig sabihin dito, you have to read all the responses. For example, there are thousands of responses kasi there are thousands of data. So you have to read one by one. Okay? And identify the repeating ideas or issues. So kung may nag-repeat na ideas, you have to cluster it. You have to group it. And you have to specify what specific themes yung sinasabi nila mostly. No? Example ng themes na confusing instruction. So, isang yon. So, titingnan mo doon is ano yung mga words, no? Or phrase or group of words na corresponds or malapit doon sa confusing instruction. Okay? Ano yung mga words na synonyms of these words. And next themes, for example, system was slow. So, titingnan mo din ulit sa mga responses, ano yung nag-identify ng mga system was slow. So, ano yung mga words? So, you have to check and select ano, very attentively and very meticulous na pagkuha ng data, pagkuha ng text. Okay? So, you have to understand it. So, these things, guys, mag-group mo tong mga tema na to and you have to use these themes as your class, no? So, ma-identify na natin na this response is near to system was slow. So, it corresponds that the system is slow. So, automatic po yun na mag-display dun sa system. So, these approaches matters para yung number of how much users feel something, number of open-ended question response explains why, and combining both gives incomplete pictures. Okay? Yan. So, these are the type of post-task ratings, ease of use. Yan, diniscuss na po natin yan before. After scenario questions, yan. So, dito guys, sa scenario questions, or ASQ for short, it is a standardized questionnaire given the right after completing the task or scenario, no? So, typically, ASQ items measure the ease of completing the task. Di-discuss na natin yan before. Time required, and satisfaction that supports instruction. Ayan. So, di-discuss na natin to before. Expectation measures. So, whether the task is meet expectation. Ayan, di-discuss natin to before. Usability magnitude estimation. So, this is more advanced method where the user is assigned a numerical value to represent how usable or difficult the task, no? Yan. So, for example, once a task is given for a reference value, so other tasks are also rated compared to the reference. Okay? So, those are type of post-task ratings. Okay? Ayan. Ease of use, most common to. After scenario, yan. Ito yung mga open-end questions niya, questionnaire. Expectation measures. So, dito sa expectation measures, for a while. Expectation measures. So, dito, for example, how easy or difficult task compared on how easy or difficult the user is expected to be. So, instead of asking was the task is easy, so this method looks the gap between the expectation and reality. So, this gap is very important because satisfaction depends on not only on the performance but also on whether the expectations are met or violated. Okay? So, as we can see here, we have here a graph and there are two-dimensional plots here. So, the x-axis represents for in average expectation ratings, meaning one of the questions that we have to consider here is how easy or difficult the users thought that the task would be uh, before doing it, no? How easy or difficult. For y-axis naman, it represents the task features, no? Or the experience ratings, meaning it is uh, like questions of how easy or difficult the task actually feel after doing it. Okay, so we can see here, there are different data. There are a lot of there are sectors or data points we have here. So there are data points group under promote it. So meaning ito o yung mga high expectation or high experience, no? So ayan, tingnan mo nyo guys, ang indicator niya ay nasa 5, between 5 and 6, no? Yan, near 6 and 5 are 6, okay? So mataas po kanyang average experience rating, and low po yung kanyang average expectation ratings, okay? And dito sa point na nasa don't touch it, okay? Ibig sabihin dito, it's a high expectation. Oh, okay. It's high expectation and high experience. So dito, ang expectations are all met. So wala siyang na-experience na problem or na-detect na problem. In terms naman sa interpretation, wala siyang changes na kailangan. Maintain yung current design niya. So yan. So dito naman sa fix it fast na data points, dito ibig sabihin there are high expectation but low experiment or experience. Ibig sabihin the user expected the task to be easy, but it was actually difficult. Okay? Yan. So yun yung mga data points are itong mga data points clustered, no, in different um, labels or class, no, different class. Okay, so there are 4 class. Number first class is promoted. Okay, when we see ibig sabihin dito sa class na to, itong mga data points are high expectation and high experience. Okay? Dito naman sa don't touch it, high expectation also with high experience. And big opportunity, low expectation sa kanya, at saka high experience. For fix it fast, high expectation but low experience. Okay? So yun yung expectation measures, no? Next is usability magnitude estimation. Yan, tingnan nyo guys yung estimation. So dito, it is more advanced sa post-task self-reported rating, no, na method. It focuses on the relative judgment or just not fixed scales like Likert scales, no. So what is usability dito, no, na magnitude estimation? Dito usability niya is as with the assigned numerical values, no, and how it usable feel compared to a reference. Yeah. So strongly disagree and strongly agree. And the idea dito is the user judge or is usability by comparison, not absolute categories. Okay? Para siyang ano lang. Okay, so ito yung mga other types of self-report methods. Ayan. Okay. So So we have here um, visual appeal. So dito guys, visual appeal is how attractive or pleasing yung design in terms of layouts, colors, fonts, or mga overall aesthetics niya. So anong type of questions dito? Or anong example questions dito? So we have example, the visual design of the system is appealing. So ito yung visual appeal, no? Ibig sabihin. Next is efficiency. So this is how quickly and smoothly users can complete the task, no, whether there are unnecessary steps. So example questions dito is, I was able to complete the task efficiently. Yan. So that is for efficiency. For usefulness naman, this whether the system helps the user achieve the goals or may relevance po yung features, no, and content. Example questions dito are is the question or the system is useful in accomplishing the task. Okay? So this is one of the example, no, sa usefulness. For enjoyment, how pleasant or satisfying the experience is, or emotional response, no, to using the system, no. Example questions are, I enjoyed using the system. Yan. Okay. Next is credibility. How trustworthy or reliable the system feels. So the accuracy of the information and the professional appearance. Okay. Next is the language level. It's the clarity and appropriateness of the language used, whether the wording matches to the user's level. So, example, the language used in the systems was easy to understand. Yan. Next is ease of navigation. So, dito, it can help us how easily users can move through the system, and the visibility and the organization of the links and menus, no. So, example questions dito, it was easy to find that I was looking for. Yan. Next is responsiveness, no. So, dito, it help us to check how fast the system or responds the user's action. So, mini-measure dito guys kung ang loading time, feedback after clicks, no. Yan. Okay. And others, meron din pong accessibility, learnability, security, and personalization. Okay? Ayan. These are questions, mga open-ended questions. Yan. Dito naman for awareness and comprehension, awareness and self-usefulness. Okay. So, what's your metrics? So, that would be the next module, which is the behavioral matrix. Again, I will be discussing two modules for this topic, for this recorded audio, recorded discussion. So next module we have to discuss the last and final module. We have to discuss behavioral matrix. Okay, yan. Okay. So, dito guys, no, yan, focus tayo sa behavioral matrix dito, no. Unlike sa previous module, yung module 10, it was self-supported matrix. So, ang behavioral matrix naman is based on what users actually do, no. O not what they say, no. Yung tinitingnan natin yung behavior. Ayan. So dito kailangan nito ng mga mga IoT, no. So when we say behavioral matrix measure, it's observable users, actions, and behaviors while interacting with the system of the product or the website or task. So in simple terms, self-reported matrix, what users say. For behavioral matrix, what the users do. Okay. Ayan. So this metrics are collected by observing the users, no. May i-record yung mga system logs, Then we have to track their actions, their times, errors, and success. No? So, behavior matrix matters on people. On people, for example, forget the details, give usually desirable answers, misjudge their own performance. Okay, so that's why behavioral metrics help us to overcome these issues, no, by relying on the actual behavior, which is often more objective and reliable. Okay, so these are the we have here a common examples of behavioral metrics. So, actually, didiscuss na po natin dito yung previous module, kung naalala nyo pa. Dito lang is, parang i-check lang siya, no? Uh, Before, sa module na diniscuss natin before, part lang siya sa module, but dito, one module talaga siya. Okay? So, behavioral matrix. So, ito yung objectives. So, yung observing the coding of word behaviors, it's a verbal or non-verbal. So, anong ibig sabihin dito? So, when we say verbal behaviors, these are the spoken words or sounds na produce sa user during interaction. Like, for example, ito yung minomurmur nila, no? What do I click next? Mga ganun ba? Or mga express sila ng mga confusions. Gosh, I don't get this. For example, no? Mga complaints na verbal na, that's taking too long. Na mga ganun. Or thinking aloud. Okay, I'll try the option first. Yan. These are the verbal um, mga spoken words or sounds na na-produce during interacting with your system, no? So, dito, it reveals the real-time understanding, no? It shows confusion or confidence. It helps us to explain why the user act a certain way, no? Yan. So, sa non-verbal naman, it's the action, no? Or the behavioral or physical behaviors. Okay? Example dito, hesitate before clicking, repeatedly clicking the same button, scrolling excessively, pausing for a long time, using back buttons frequently. So these are mga non-verbal behaviors, no? Ayan. Yan, sa example, boredom, confused, happy, frustration, okay, and engage. So, um, behavioral matrix, no, cannot be reliable captured through smile or through simple observation alone, no. Instead, we have to require mga specialized equipment, okay, or IoT na to, no. The specific example is facial expression, no. Meron po tayong camera dyan, no, or sensor. Okay? Yan. So, titingnan natin kung ano yung features ng yung SAD. So, dapat guys, training pa lang, no? If this is our class of faces, kailangan there are different faces na na-trained. Pero same their reactions, no? Yung, for example, sadness. So, dapat nakikita yung dropping dropping eyelids, losing focus in their eyes, and the slight pulling down of their lip corners. Then anger, yan, contempt, disgust, surprise, fear, yan. So these are the behaviors requiring equipment to capture yung skin conductions, posture, pressure, brain signals, motion. So ito yung mga instruments na gagamitin to measures, no? Yan. So how we collect it, no? We have to identify phenomenon. Ibig sabihin, So ibig sabihin, no, we have to refer on the human characteristics behavior, no, or the internal states that we are interested in understanding or measuring, no. Ayan, so like for example, human can recognize intuitively but machines cannot directly detect or interpret without the help. Okay? Yan. So these are uh, things, no, na well, another thing dito is um, attitudes, and also why we identify phenomenon. Yan. Relationship between the behavioral matrix. Yan. So ito yung mga ways, no, how to collect the data. Okay? And of course, a design is sampling technique. Um, so dito pa lang, no, sa um, these techniques, dito pa lang sa planning stage in collecting the behavioral matrix, once you have identified the phenomenon, no, and what you want to study, like for example mga confusion or off task behavior, no, na engagement, ang next step nito ay you have to design how will you sample or collect observations, no. So how will we systematically capture the behavioral data in a relative way, no, a reliable way. So the key questions here explains how many test subjects, no, yan, or another thing, how often do you observe, how many observations, binary observations or gradients, biometric readings, no. Yan. So these are mga sampling techniques na pwede nating gamitin, no. Yan. Validate, of course, if we are if using human observers, ayan, mayroon tayong paraling post hoc mga coding, no. Yan. So thank you guys and congratulations. So that ends our course, HCI CCS 0005. Okay, thank you and congratulations.